Welcome to Zentangle Quickies. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Shattuck. And Shattuck is a tangle that was brought to us by the people at Zentangle, and it is a neat tangle in that you can use it either as a fill-in or as a border tangle. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my four corners here. I am working on a small bijou tile. Bijous are about 2 by 2. And we'll pretend this is the section that you are going to fill in. I'm going to do mine diagonal, so I'm going to start with one straight line. Straight-ish, because this kind of, to me, has the organic look. So if your line isn't straight, that's perfectly fine. It's one of those, I'd like to put a little bit of wave in, but for whatever reason, mine just come out kind of straight. So no fears if they come out a little bit wiggly. As you will see, that will really add to the character of this. All right, so we're going to fill the space with these like double lines. Sets of double lines. And you can space them apart as far as you want. And of course, I'm assuming that you're watching maybe before you're doing. If you're not, it's about, maybe more than a pen width apart. But as you will go through this, you can see that you can set this as far apart as you want. So I'm going to start in one section. And so I have an example that I'll show at the end, and what's so funny is as I'm re-going through some tangles that I've done for years and years and years, I'm finding that it's like, well, also because I like to make sure I'm doing things right. I'm like, how could I have been doing this not the way they described for so long? And I'll share that with you. Actually, but what I have is kind of cool. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay. It's just funny. All right, so I'm going to start, and we're going to draw a curved line after we have our, have this, and it's one of those, okay, decide which way I want to draw that curved line. Actually, I'm going to start here. I'm going to curve it off. I'm going to stop it right here, pretending like I have, lines going on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to aura this line all the way into the corner. I probably should have started it down a little bit, but that's okay. All right. And then, now it's going to be really hard for me to do this the way that, wait, let me turn it, okay. Okay, no, let me do it. Okay, so I had my tile this way, and you want to turn your tile because the curve in your hand is important to keep that. And we'll see. I don't know. This will turn out the way it's prescribed. So I'm drawing the same curved line. So having it this direction, curved this way, and then I'm just turning it, what is that, 90 degrees, and going this way, and then auraing back. And I neglected to mention, an aura is essentially, for those, this is your first video, is like outlining. All right, now I'm turning my tile back the other way, doing that same arc. So the arc, or the curved line, I should say, is is going to alternate each time you do it. And this is probably why when I've done this in the past that I have to think a little hard about it, because I do it a different way. It's just really funny. It's the second arc, or I keep saying arc, the second curved line. It is an arc, but I usually do it going the other direction, and that's where it's just really funny. And I'll share it with you because, here's the thing. Gosh, and maybe I should probably call it something and put it out there as a tangle in and of itself. So when I get up to these little places like this, where I'm not going to draw, because that arc is going to be out here in the border. So then this way I will take and I will just do some of the curved lines that would lead up to that. Okay, so you can see how if you just did this, if you wanted to use it as a border tangle, you could just do it this way. But if you want to use it as a fill-in, it's super neat. So then what we do is, and it is one of those, start in any place you want, and do the line of that. And then, starting on, the next one over, the next section over, we're going to do the opposite. Same idea. But what's neat is, so I'm going to start here where I started before, and I'm taking my curve line down. And even if you end up not auraing, which I am doing, at least on this first one, it makes it easy. If they don't line up, it ends up being okay anyway. All right, now I'm going to turn my tile. So same idea. This is where it gets a little difficult, because if you're trying to match things up, because it's not necessarily going to be so. And I want to let you know that that's okay. But when you get back to here, and maybe this is where it matters. So this one, because it does meet up here, then you could always make sure that that one meets up. Because things will just go, could go differently at some point, because here you're not, there's no lineup here. But, like I said, if we're matching up just this side, then that does seem to work. And again, just going back and forth and orating. This is another one of those great tangles that you can kind of lose yourself in if you want to, because once you get into the rhythm of turning the tile, there's really not a lot of thought that has to go in. And like I said, these don't necessarily have to match up for it to have a really neat effect. And then when you get to the end like this, then sometimes it's just a matter of, as I like to call it, just making it up. Okay. So that looks super neat, right? All right, and I'm going to continue on these other little sections. Oh, let's see. Well, let's see. I'm going to pretend that that line would end up right there. See, and I do, okay, so if you end up having to think too much about how you're, okay, it would be that way. How you're turning the tile, just to make sure that you're getting the right arc. I'm glad, because I'm not alone then. And just like everything Zentangle, once you get the whole pattern done, it ends up looking so neat. And let's see, so this one would come, and I would be doing, oh, no, I would be going, nope. I like doing these in one take, because that way you can see that, sometimes, oh no, so this would be my line, right? Yeah. That would be, I would be going all the way out here. That you can just kind of experience some of the crazy thought process. All right, there we go. And then we'll finish up this last little section here. So once you get one going, it's generally, as long as you get these curves going in the right direction, that's going this way, and then, no. I hope you're laughing along with me, because that's always nice. Oh, and see, without having this edge here, that is what makes it difficult. So I would then, so say I would be going here, then here. Nope. I would be, at a loss. I would be doing this way, and I should be able to see, just kind of as a check. It's like, okay, in this corner, then these do mirror. And what's throwing me off is because this is a partial end here. That's what's throwing me off. And it's also why I like to do these partials and have my corner be my edges be wiggly, because I like the challenge of that. All right, and then this one would be coming, yeah, out here. Okay, and then that would be there. All right, perfect. Oh, all right, and so there we have Shattuck. Now for shading. Shading is fun. So the first, and I would highly recommend doing the shading. You could do this in stages. So, and then decide, well, which way do you want to go? So I'm going to go this way first, where I'm going to add some shading on either side of these original, I kind of call them stems, because they do, I don't know, to me, this all kind of looks leafy. Or I suppose it could look like, you know, rolling hills. There we go. And then I'm going to just spread my graphite out with the tortillon. I'm just going to do all of these sides since that's what's facing me. And then turn the tile and do the other side. And you can see how that gave it some neat depth. Also a little bit of curviness. Well, two things. Kind of some curviness, but then also it brought up these, what I was calling these stems, these rails. It brought them up above as well. Now, another thing that you can do, and because this is so small, I'm going to just be careful. I'm going to put some light graphite here. So you can kind of emphasize the say the in and out is sometimes what I like to call it. And I like to also start with the graphite light. You can always go darker. Don't be afraid to go darker. You know, it's fun to experiment, actually, because having it be a little darker, it adds that extra contrast and or drama, however you want to reference it, that really makes the tangles look neat. Now, the thing that you have to be careful though on, especially for me right now working on this small of a tile, is that the thing that creates the contrast is graphite plus your original tile color, right? So I'm working on a white tile, and what I'm making sure to preserve is some of that original tile color, because otherwise then it just is gray and it's just been shaded in all together, and then we don't have that contrast or you know, the drama that we want to see. So that's kind of neat. So it just gives it some depth, and it gives it a really, really neat look. So depending on what you might want to emphasize more, you could go darker on one aspect or the other. That's one of those things completely up to you. You can also, excuse me, like in this example that I'm going to show, which also shows how I've done this a different way. You can add little things on the end if you want to. So like we have it where, you know, where they meet and come out, and you can add some little curlicues if you want to. So here's what I was saying. It's just so funny. So you can see the contrast. So the way I have pretty much always done this is I turn the tile a different way. So I have the arch here, but then so having my tile here, instead of doing it this way and having the arch, oh no, that's exactly what I did. I would go the other way then. This way. See, I'm still floating. So this gives you a different option, you know, if you want. And there's so many tangles out there that are so close to one another. Maybe I'll have to do that. You heard it here first. But yeah, so again, well, going with my pencil here. So, you know, curve line. And then the way I did it on this tile was I turned it clockwise and did the same arch. versus the way I have done it up until now. And now I have an extra option, is I've turned it counterclockwise and done the arch. So that way it looks like this. Now, I have seen this done straight as well, so not without the curves. And I believe I saw it in a video, and it might have even been Maria Thomas, that did just a zigzag and then drew the lines in backwards. So you don't have to do these necessarily with the curved lines. It can turn out really cool otherwise. But I think it adds a really neat flair to do this. And now I'm thinking, okay, when I do this, then maybe I darken, this a little bit. It kind of cups. It's really, really funny. Now I'm going to be on the search to see how did I end up with it this way versus the other way. Or I could have just been doing it, and that's the way it is. So anyway, I share that because even if you make a mistake and you continue down that mistake for years, we won't even call it a mistake. It's just something different. And it'll still turn out super neat. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the Tangle. If you give it a try. Oh, this what I was gonna say. I thought this. Oh, I say no. This isn't a. This is about average Quickie. So I just divided this one in two. That's why I hesitated for a minute because I thought, oh my gosh, this was quick. No, it's just about average size. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and in the comments, please leave comments if you like it. Even if you're having some challenge, if there's questions I can answer, I am happy to do that. In the description box are ways to connect. If you want to, join in on my Tangle Addicts community for some, fun and sharing of work and good conversation that goes along with Zentangle, that would be lovely. So with that, I wish you happy tangling.